Hey YouTube! This weekend was the 2019 Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship, and because of that there was the World Championship celebration at locals all around the world. And I took Madolches to mine and managed to go undefeated all day for 5 rounds, and I ended up with first place. I got a set of these nifty little promos that are sealed up top right here, a field center, and this nice mat to go along with it, along with a booster box of Rising Rampage. So let's check out my build. Let's start with the monsters first. We have 3 Madolche Mageline, one of the best starters in the deck. Baits out plenty of hand traps because then you can follow it up with Petting Cessor and just go full combo. Up next we have 3 Madolche Angeli, yet another one of our 1-card combos. Up next we have 3 of the relatively new card Madolche Petting Cessor, yet another 1-card combo. This also is an extender in theory, depending on how you formulate your combos. Overall, really strong card. Up next we have somewhat bricks, I guess, but also necessary extenders. That would be Madolche Messengelato. You need it generally in deck, although you can still play. If you draw 1 or 2 of them, your plays are just going to be suboptimal. We also have 2 Hootcake. Drawing this is actually really bad, because if you don't have one in your deck, your Petting Cessor play really doesn't work optimally, and you'll have to actually normal summon it. And if you don't have your grave with monsters in it, then it won't work correctly, so it's unfortunate to draw it. We also have to play the one of Pudding Cess. This card is okay to draw because you just get it off of a Petting Cessor in your hand and it's still okay. It's just not as good. Next we have our supporting monsters. That would be the Psy-Frame Gear Gamma, and of course the one of Psy-Frame Driver. We can't play traditional hand traps because we cannot have monsters in our grave, so we have to play with these. Luckily, this is a very strong card for the format, and occasionally it comes up that your opponent ashes your Angeli, and you can respond with this card to negate it and allow your play to go through, which is very strong. We also play a new addition, Fantastical Dragon Phantasme. This card fixes hands. It's good against pretty much every deck except for some rogue matchups where they don't link summon, but it is a very, very strong card. And then rounding off the non-Madolche cards, we have 3 Dino Wrestler Pankratops. This card is still one of the best cards in the game. It outs almost every single card. Plenty of floodgates. It attacks over monsters. It pushes for damage. It baits hand traps. There's just so many things it does. It's such a good card. And also, we only play 2 Gamma Seal. We still want to play 40 cards, and it's one of the most lackluster cards of the really strong removal cards we also play. So it's just at 2 right now. Up next are our spells. We play 3 Called by the Grave to ensure our play goes through by stopping hand traps. It's also sometimes good going second against decks like Orcust and occasionally Sky Striker, because you can remove Ray. Then we also play 3 Pot of Extravagance. You need the draw power in this deck. It is unfortunate that you have to banish from your extra deck, and occasionally you do banish 3 very crucial cards, but you still can pull those games off if you draw into cards such as Pankratops, Gamma Seal, or just being able to summon a bunch of Madolches and OTK in a more traditional way. Then we also play our 1 of Ticket and our 1 of Madolche Chateau. You still have to play them. Playing more than 1 either isn't really necessary. You can consider playing a second Chateau because it does extend your plays occasionally, but it really is just not needed. You don't want to draw them. They are essentially bricks, but you can still gain some advantage by activating them if you do draw them. Then finally, we play a really simple trap lineup of 3 Infinite Impermanents, since we can't play more traditional hand traps, and 3 Evenly Match, since we want to go second, break apart our opponent's board. It doesn't matter that we don't kill him that turn. We can always do that the following turn. This card is insane. Every time I resolved it, I pretty much won. This card's great, this format. Up next is our extra deck. We have a very simple lineup. We have 3 Madolche Queen Tiramisu. We have 3 Madolche Teacher Glace Souffle. We have also 3 Madolche Princess Pudding Cess Chocolate a la Mode. And we also, to round off the Madolche extra deck monsters, 3 Madolche Fresh Sistar. You need to max out all of these cards at 3 because we're playing Extravagance. Ideally, as long as you have one of each in your extra deck, you're going to win. If you have more than one of any of them, you're going to also probably be in a good position. It's really strong. And then you'll see on the side deck, we do play Super Poly. So we are playing 3 targets for that. We have Mud Dragon of the Swamp, Starving Venom, Fusion Dragon, and Predaplant Dragostapelia. I think I'm saying that correctly. They're just really strong Super Poly targets. They're probably the most generic and relevant this format. That's it for the extra deck. Up next is the side deck. As previously mentioned, we do play triple Super Poly. This card is insane going second. It's very strong against Orcust. It's pretty decent against the Thunder Dragon deck, and it's very strong against the Pendulum deck since we do play the Predaplant Fusion. We also play triple Twin Twister. This card was great all day against Sky Striker. It's also really strong against rogue decks such as True Draco or Guru Control, or any deck that's going to set a bunch of back row. It's very strong against cards like Mystic Mine. Just a very solid, well-rounded card. That's it for the spells that we're siding. Then since we're a going second deck, we generally side to go first. So we are siding triple Solemn Judgment. Along with that, the Solemn Warning comes in usually, and depending on the matchup, we also side in the Imperial Order. These are generally the main cards we go into if we're planning on going first, just as a general rule of thumb. It cannot be understated on how strong this card is, this format. It just can end the turn sometimes. It can stop any crucial interruption your opponent has, any big push. It's just a very strong card. Then to round off the traps, currently we're playing triple Red Reboot. Not sure if I like this card. It seems good in theory. This deck does struggle against Floodgate deck, such as Guru Control or Draco. Just any deck that sets 5 trap cards and they're floodgates and they stop you from playing. We can really struggle against cards like There Can Only Be One or Summon Limit or Skill Drain. There's just so many cards like that. So this card in theory is very strong. The issue is when you negate their trap and they Solemn Judgment you, or they have the follow-up hand trap. It's just, I'm not sure if this is the kind of blowout card we need, but it seems good in theory. So we're playing it for now. That's it for the traps. And then the final card we are siding right now is 1 copy of Gamma Seal. It goes in against decks like Sky Striker, any type of Build-A-Board deck, which would be Thunder Dragon, Pendulum, any Guard Dragon type deck that just wants to summon a bunch of monsters, build a huge field, and not let you play. Well, sometimes you just need to tribute their boss monster and then go in with your play. So we're playing it for now. There's just not enough main deck room to be playing it in the main deck. That's my going second, first place Madolche deck for the World Championship celebration at my local tournament. There were 43 players, 5 rounds, didn't lose a match. It was surprising for me, but this is actually a really strong deck, this format, as long as you kind of dodge some of the rogue floodgate decks. All right, thank you for watching, and bye.